Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report, and starting with Bitcoin, but we're also going to have a look at Ethereum as well. So just to keep it, we're on a daily chart. We'll just pick it up from the low here. We're looking at this as wave 1 up here. It's possible to look at it as wave A and wave B here, as nice as it is to put our heads in the cloud and sort of shoot to the moon. I think we need to be sort of grounded, so we'll just track the next 5 waves up here, which could be an A and a B and a C, to the 61.8% of 50,000, and then drop down at that point. It's quite possible, but you'd think with the current hype in the markets with BlackRock and Fidelity and Charles Schwab's and so on, that you think that it would go to the to the upside, and it's probably right. The way that I can see the structure so far is that we're seeing impulse waves to the upside and we're seeing corrective waves to the downside. So the trend in terms of Elliott Wave is pointing upwards. We don't have any evidence of it pointing down at this particular point in time. Is it possible that we've got a top in play? Well, I think I've put it on this particular chart, my bearish chart. It's possible that we could look at it like this here. So I haven't got it all just here, but all up for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 here. So wave 3 is shorter than wave 1, but then again wave 5 is shorter than wave 3. I think it might have been Michelle that put this forward. I think that's what she said, or she may have been talking about this a little bit in here. Didn't quite capture that, but look, it's possible. But even so, it'd still be bullish. That would be the good news, wouldn't it? Because if this was wave 1 up here, would come back for wave 2 down onto this support here, and then would move up from that point. So I mean, that would be great too, you know, give us another opportunity to pick a little bit more up, you know. But apart from that, let's go back to the daily charts here. And we've got a few false starts here, haven't we? Because we've had this here thinking, well, okay, there's a possibility that this could move up, and then we had the move down here and so on. There was all possibilities. So now we've got to kind of resolve this situation a little bit further. So I think that the worst case scenario is that if we took the low here, just roughly here, to this high rather than that high, not that it's a big deal anyway, then we would be looking at the worst case scenario coming down into this space here for this. I don't think that's the case, and I'll explain that. But it's quite possible that we could have this down here as wave, because that's 5 waves so far. We can have that as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the C wave. So basically, well, let's just go to another chart here and drill in on this now that we've spoken about that. So into the intraday on a 20k tick chart. So there's 2 ways to look at this. We can look at it as an A wave to here, a B wave to here, and a C wave to here. And then we move straight up from that point. Otherwise, we move up here, and then we have a 3rd, 4th, and 5th wave down here, and then we move up. So they're the 2 points, and I see them both as opportunities to buy more BTC and spread the love. So that's it, really, in a bit of a nutshell. So which one is it? Is it eeny, meeny, miny, mo here for this wave 2 here? Well, I was thinking about that and looking around, because this here, you know, is a little bit, it's corrective in nature because it's got overlapping wave structures. So that's a good thing. So we should see more highs come in from that. Now, I just want to move away from Bitcoin in this particular chart for a moment. And I think it was the last time, or the time before, we were looking at Ethereum here, and we're looking at this as wave 1 and wave 2 here. And then we were looking for 5 waves up here. And I think that I think the last time we were somewhere in around this top here, and we figured that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. Don't need that now. And now we're looking at wave 2 here. So with this wave 2 here, how long is a piece of string? Let's just get some parameters in here first. So That's the 50%, and that's the 61.8% there. So we could say in a nutshell that it's quite possible for this to come down to this point, down to 1750 roughly. The 18 is such a strong, nice number, and then move up from that point. Now I could look at this here as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave down here, or we could look at all of the move down to where it currently is at the moment here, and then look for a move back as a B wave and then a C wave down here and then move up. So they're the two things that can occur at that particular point. So yeah, the safe trade would be going long above the B wave here in that case. But I think it's always the thing is that you can also buy it back in the box here. So we're going to turn that green. Kitty Upon normally does the crypto, so I won't do too much of this, but just to sort of look at it. I mean, because the thing here is that this move down through here, could we look at it as 5 ways? We could go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Yes, there's a lot of overlap between 4 and 1, so that's probably not the case. So there's a good case that this could be a bullish corrective pattern, and then based on that we have 5 waves up here, so that's a really strong case as well. So that kind of, if this is a bullish corrective pattern here, that means we'll take out the top here. Then we've also got the 5 waves here, so that's if we get 5 waves in the opposite direction of the trend, the previous trend has been coming down. If we get 5 waves in the opposite direction, that means we're going to get another 5 over here. So to buy it in the box here or at 18 would be reasonably safe. You don't have to overdo it. It's nice to pick the low, but you need to manage the risk as well, because if you buy on the low and it drops down, well, then you're in panic mode at that point, and then you make all sorts of mistakes, So yeah, just be mindful of that. But looking at this here, we've got a nice correction, and then we've got a nice impulse wave to the upside. So we know from BTC dominance, Bitcoin dominance, that it's over 50%. So we know Bitcoin has got the most, is dominant at the moment over all the other cryptos. And, it's made a new high above this one over here where Ethereum's following at this point in time. But that's good because it gives us this particular pattern to work with, So this is very positive here. I'm not saying it's going to, fly quickly, because it needs to migrate from being, resistance to support, and there's a process for that. So in fact, this 5 waves will probably end up here somewhere, and I should really use one of these little dudes here, the little green men from Ireland. Because what will happen is that we'll get 3, 4, 5 up here, and then I know that the natural flow of things is for it to come back and test. So we'll get to 3 coming around the top here somewhere, some 4, and then 5 here, and then we're going to come back and test. We need to test, the trend. We need to test the old high. Basically, that's a way to look at it. We know our numbers and we know our pattern. So then we'll push up from that point. So it'll be something like that, I would imagine. It's always, it looks nice and neat when you draw it out and those sort of things. But when it actually comes to it, you'll see how drunk we really were at the time. So yeah, it'll be something like that. Okay, so this is all really positive in my thing. This is a bit like a classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction. So we have a look at that here, the arrival here, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC pattern, and then we go up, and this is where, swing traders want to start building in here, and we'll be all over it at that point. So this needs to come down a little bit more and so on. So yeah, let's go back to, and we know that, we know that Bitcoin is leading to the upside because it's above the old high over here, not by much, but Ethereum's down here at the moment. They take turns in moving around. So this little move down here, let's just go from 20,000 ticks to, don't really need to go, just go to 100, I think, just to check on this little trend here. So let me just get some more in here. So we've got this low here. It looks like from the top here, this B wave, it looks like we could pretty much go sort of one, and we could pretty much line that up as wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here. So this is corrective in 3 waves. So we'll make a new low below here, which we have. It's a little bit odd, unless I'm missing something up here somewhere. Let me just check. Can I put that? Well, yeah, we could go 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. Could we use that? It would change the dynamics of it, wouldn't it? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. That's 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 and 2. Still got this one here. That's a bit weird. So we should really be making another move down here, but it looks like it wants to go up. I'm still wondering. So if that's a B wave here, we could go up for a C wave and go down. So basically what we could have in here is wave 2 coming into play here. And then we come down for wave 3. So it looks like we could actually do that. There's half a silly chance for that to occur. Even if I took it to the top to the bottom here. So we're well above the 38.2% in here for this. So it's difficult to put this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, you know. To see if I can do it a different way. I suppose I could go 1, 2, 3. I'm still a wave short in there. So there's a couple of things. If it overlaps this one here, then we can look at it as wave 2. If it fails to overlap this, then we need to look at this rally as part of this, because I'm still missing this particular structure here, even though that's come really quite high. So we could put wave 2 over here. It's not proven just yet. But it does appear that we'll need to come down for 3, 4, 5 here. Down onto the 28 maybe. I'm just moving into the guessing game here at the moment, really. But it does look nice. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, doesn't it? You know. So this could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. That could be okay. So I could probably take that out as well. I mean, technically, this from the top to the bottom here, it's possible for this, just shoot the breeze here. Now, it's possible for this to come to this point here. That's possible, you know, it's possible because you don't take it from that low, you take it from this low here. So it's possible for that to move up there like that. So bit of an expanded flat kind of thing, really. So you don't want to get sort of sucked into that. I mean, if the 31,000 became the support, by all means, you know, you'll need the first high above the level to go on. But basically, that would be the long trade at that point. If I was totally wrong, and that's not out of scope. Everybody's wrong and everybody's right. It's interesting, really, because this spike up here, this spike here in Bitcoin that came up here, and I took that out there. That's it didn't happen basically in the crypto market itself. You see this spike here? See how it was lower here? And this is the other, you know, this is a bit, well, this is really a bit like Ethereum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So we're really just looking for, this is the crypto index, well, a crypto index here, which is the top 10 here. So in this case here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 at this point, or an A and a B. It's a bit small for an A, B, C against all of that. Do you know what I mean? So we're probably down here somewhere, I'd imagine, just sort of shooting the breeze a bit. 7/8 is important. This is 8,000 here, so this is just an index, but it could be helpful, you know, in looking at this particular point here, you know, because that's what the rest of the market, that's what Ethereum is doing. Ethereum's got that there as well, you know. And then you can see here that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's that 5 waves in Bitcoin coming down here. So there's 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've got this move here, which is a bit smoother really than this one. It seems to have a better shape to it. So I think it's still part of this move down here in 1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 coming in. So it looks almost like another little impulse wave here. So I'm thinking this is, you know, got 3, 4, 5 here for this to go into play here down further. But that 8,000 here is going to be a bit of a doorstop. You could just basically watch some of these other markets and see how they're, you know, performing in that regard. So it's probable that we'll see this, you know, move on down further rather than sort of push up here in that case. I mean, that's where the bias is that. So, but I'll just leave that space there and all of that. But yeah, just interesting to have a bit of a look around. So yeah, so in a nutshell, if we go to say 5,000 ticks or something, just to drill out a little bit. Let's just use, I haven't updated that one, so I updated this year. So really we're basically looking at I mean, this also looks like 5 waves down. So, I mean, even though that took the top out there, we know that Ethereum and the other indexes haven't made a new top here. So we could kind of look at this as wave 1 and 2. And, you know, it's not going to be the case in terms of Elliott, but that's what the other markets are doing. So we need to, because I like looking at the consensus of things. So if I'm looking at the NASDAQ and the S&P and stuff, I really need to know what stocks are driving it and what sector's driving it. And then I have a look at all the stocks in that sector and get some sort of consensus of the wave count, and then move from that point. And it's a bit safer to go that way. I mean, this move up here it looks like it's in 3 waves to the upside, so probably better labeled as some sort of WXY. But yeah, yeah, the other markets have got this as down for 1 and back for 2. That's kind of interesting. So anyway, we'll see. The 30,000 is a pretty strong magnet at this particular point in time. So we'll just see. You know, I couldn't see it coming all the way down here, just because I don't see it coming all the way down here, because it would have to let go of the 30,000, you know. And I'm not saying that it can't, but yeah, I mean, so I can see kind of like some spikes going down and those sort of things, you know, to finish this a bit off or something. But I think it's going to stick to it, you know what I mean? I think it's going to be something like that. So we'll see. You know, it's not going to go far from that 30,000. And anything down here would be certainly a buying opportunity. Just can't see it coming down here, but you never know. Never know. I mean, for it to leave this number, we'd basically need to see it, you know, it's still playing with it here. It would need to eventually have some sort of move down here and a test coming back and then dropping at that point, you know, for it to leave it, you know. So I don't see that sort of happening, but we'll just be mindful of that. Anyway, enough waffling. That's really where we are. We can see that with all the markets, that we've got wave 1, we're trying to find wave 2, and the rest of the market has got, and the indices have really got a nice 5 waves up here with 1 and looking back for wave 2 here, and then we'll be up. So I don't think it's going to take too long, you know. It could take a few days and those sort of things. What about the indicators? Are they going to keep us swimming in the right direction? You know, it's moving down pretty quick, so we've probably got, you know, 2 or 3 days down here to do this, another 2-3 days here to finish this off, maybe here and here, and then we can move along at that point. So I think that's where we are. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.